Hi. So before we get into the descriptions or what NFR looks like or what it is, I would again say you that defining and addressing the non-functional requirement for a system are among the most important of a software architect responsibility. So that is what you should not miss out while you are designing a baseline to a target architecture while you are defining the NFRs. So NFRs cannot be missed out in the broader aspects while designing one system or hundreds of the systems. Now consider a brochure from an automobile manufacturer. When you buy a car, what you expect is you will be able to drive that car from the store to home. The minimum requirement, the car should be fit enough to drive, right? That is one thing. While the design specification of a car, you will not see that this has been defined in the functional requirement, right? This is a non-functional requirement what you will be defining. If you consider a brochure from a cellular manufacturer, what happens? Your expectation is you should be able to call a friend or anybody for that matter. Let's move to the next section. Now, with automobiles, the basic function is transportation from one location to another. Now with premium luxury or with a different kind of more high branded cars, what you will be getting is outstanding safety features. But all these, if you start looking into, these are setting up certain standard for certain segment of cars. But basically the NFRs are getting better and better with the high standard cars. Now with cellular phones also the same apply. The basic function is communication. That has to be met at any point in time. But you can have a phone camera, you can have a WhatsApp, you can do this, that, and so many social media things are now encapsulated inside the phone. The cameras are going high and high. You are obsoleting the camera, actual cameras these days and putting everything inside the phone. But basically what I'm saying here is that these NFR are the system quality attributes for any system and are very distinct and different from the functional requirements what you are dealing for designing a particular system with its business features and capabilities. But this cannot be missed out. Now, when I say this cannot be mixed out, you will be talking about certain things which has not been documented as a part of the functional requirements like reliability, performance, scalability, security. You are not going to document it, right? Unless and until you are giving a very strict mindset of looking into the NFR. So you will not design the system and then once in production start looking into, oh, my system is not performing well, so I should have considered these facts, these technologies, and for that the system would have performed a different way. Say for example, you have taken Apache Artemis and your requirement is Apache Kafka, say for example, because you are dealing with a video streaming system. Now, when you have not dealt with that in the first place and you are now seeing your messaging are moving not in parallel and it's very slow, then you start thinking about the effort now. But that's not the case. That is why this course is all about that looking into the NFR are very important from the very first stage. Let's move to the next section. Now, if we go with the definition of IEEE, so what they say is in software system engineering, a software requirement that describes not what the software will do, but how the software will do. For an example, software performance requirements, software external interface requirements, the design constraints, and the software quality attributes are the non-functional requirements. They definitely say that non-functional requirements are very difficult to test, and that's why we will be evaluating this non-functional requirement subjectively. I will come to the right hand side of it, but this is that NFR are the cross-cutting in nature and affect multiple aspects of the system architecture. You will see it's not about one system we are talking when we are dealing with NFR, especially in the software architecture. It is important to articulate and address the NFR as early as possible in the project life cycle and to keep them under review as the system is progressing or produced. Okay, and to help with that kind of task, you can build some checklist of the key NFRs. We will talk about the key NFRs slowly. The checklist is designed, and you have to design those checklists in consultation with the different software architects, project managers, or the system uh, SMEs, and then design those NFR checklist. We will come to the checklist in the later section of this course, but this checklist will consist of availability, performance, security, operability, transactions, concurrency, data access, regulatory, globalization, design usability, testing, and many others, right? That's why the subjectives, as I was telling, in the right hand side is the LETs, understandability, usability, modifiability, interoperability, reliability, portability. Can you port a software from cloud in AWS to Azure? That is the question the system architects will start thinking, because you are looking 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, how the system may get changed. Now, can you do the portability easily, or you are stuck with one particular vendor? Maintainability, are you able to maintain it? We will come to that, but let's focus then the configurability, customizability, adaptability. The it is this is the another, it is the security. Security completely today in the today's world, you may have seen that the I mean it's an enormous amount of security threats we get. A lot of vulnerability are there, a lot of security threats are coming. You are going to handle it beginning of the project. You are not going to put something in production and start thinking, oh, there can be a SQL injection in my software. That is not where you start thinking about the software. Okay, I have an um, threat from the external vendor where they are penetrating my firewall and getting into my system, getting some data, and the data leak is happening. The GDPR has not been taken care. Who will take care of that? That is where the NFR comes into picture. You have to keep things simple. You have to make sure the clarity is there in the system. The ubiquity is there, integrity is there, the modularity is there, and then the ness, the user friendliness, robustness, timeliness, responsiveness, completeness, conciseness, and the cohesiveness. Okay, so these are the few things we will be keep on talking, and how to derive, how to come on those, where to take it from there is something we are going to discuss in the next few sections. Okay, thank you. Let's go to the next section.